Hi, my name is Mario Veluso and I'm here to discuss fraction. Fraction is a part of a whole. It is two numbers separated by a bar. Now the top part is called the numerator and the bottom number is the denominator. Uh, let's imagine a pie a pie, and this bottom number is the number of equal parts that we need to divide. Like for this one, let's say we divide it into three parts. Now the top number is the number of parts that we need to have our fraction. So 1, 2. So these two parts is representative of this fraction 2/3. We divided it into 3 and we take 2 of those 3 and that is 2/3. So that is fraction. Now there are some notes that we need to discuss before we proceed that we will be needing later for our computation. The bar is this bar can be rewritten as a division, like for example 3/4 or 3/4. We can rewrite this fraction into like this. And also in the opposite, conversely, we can, if we see this 3 divided by 4, we can rewrite it as 3/4, 3/4. Number 2 on the notes, we can make any whole number into fraction. Like for example, we have 7. We can rewrite it as 7/1 and make it like a fraction. Number 3, any number, we can multiply it by 1 and it's still the same number. Like 8, we can make times 1 and then it would still be 8. And even a fraction like 2/5, we can make a times 1 beside 2 and then we make it a fraction like this, 2 times 1/5. We can add 1 at any time. Number 4, any number divided by itself is 1. So like 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. So using 3 and 4, for example, we get note number 5. For example, we have 8. We can multiply it by 1 and then this 1 we can convert it into a number divided by itself like this. So 8 times, instead of 1 we can put 3/3, 3 divided by 3, and then it would still be same. The value will still be 8. Now, so that's for the notes that we'll be using for the fraction. Before we proceed, I'd like for you to discuss the different types of fraction. First is the proper fraction. Proper fraction. So proper fraction are fractions where the numerator is smaller than the denominator, like 3/4 or 7/11. So the upper number is smaller than the lower number. That's proper fraction. The next one is improper fraction. Improper fraction are fractions where the numerator is greater than the denominator, like 9/5. So this is greater than the or 10/3. So this is another example of improper fraction. Now we go to the third kind, which is the mixed fraction. Mixed fraction is a combination of a whole number and a fraction, like 3.5. So it's a whole number and a fraction. 5 and 2/7. That's another fraction. This are mixed fraction. We will now go to reducing fraction to its lowest term. Sorry, before we proceed, we get to discuss equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are fractions that have different numbers but have the same value. So, on an example, let's write equivalent fractions. So, for example, we have 1/2. So let's draw that in a like a pie. So if you divided it by 2, we take one of this. This is 1/2. Now let's take for another example is 2/4. So if they have the same pie divided into 4, and we take 2 of that, so this 2/4 is the same as 1/2. And then another example, if we divide a pie into 6 and we get 3 of that, 1, 2, 3, that's 3/6. It's the same. These three fractions are equivalent fractions. They have different numbers, but the value is the same. So that is an equivalent fraction. So as a shortcut, to get an equivalent fraction, we just need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So like for example, this 1/2, if we multiply both by 2, so 1 times 2 equals 2, 2 times 2 equals 4. So we get this 2/4, which is equivalent to 1/2. But if we multiply both by 3, same number, so 1 times 3, 2 times 3, so 1 times 3 equals 3, 2 times 3 equals 6, so this is also the equivalent fraction. So that's how you get an equivalent fraction. We now go to reducing fraction to lowest term. Reducing fraction to lowest term, let's do this first, and then we go to reducing fraction to lowest term. Reducing to lowest term. So, for example, reducing fraction to a lowest term is to find an equivalent fraction with the lowest possible numbers. For example, we have an example like 8/24. So this is a fraction which is not yet in its lowest term. Now there are 3 ways to find the lowest term of this fraction. First is called prime factorization. Prime factorization. So how do we do it? It's like this. For example, we put 8 and 24, and then we find factors from these numbers. So 8, you can think of numbers that will have a product of 8, like 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. And then 4, they're still divisible. We can think of a number of factors, like 4 will be 2 times 2. Now 24, think of factors that is 24. We can like make 6 and 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Now this can still be divided into 2 factors. 2 times 3 is 6. And then 4 can still be divided into 2 factors. 2 times 2. So we will now, instead of writing 8/24, we will rewrite 8 into its prime factors. Like instead of 8, we will put 2 times 2 times 2. And then 24, instead of writing 24, we put 2 times 3 times 2 times 2. Now, a number divided by itself is 1. So this one, 2 divided by 2, we can cancel it because it will be equal to 1. This again, 2 divided by 2 is also 1. And then 2 divided by 2 is also 1. So we can cancel all 3. Now there's no number left at the top. We can multiply it by 1. Now we can rewrite it now. So if we cancel everything, what is left is 1/3. So the lowest term of 8 over 24 is 1/3. Now the second way is by rewriting. For example, we have 8 over 24. We can think of a number that we can divide to both of them. Let's say 2. We can divide both by 2. So this divided by 2 is 4. So we can write it into 4. This divided by 2 becomes 12. And then we can still divide this by the same number. We can divide it again by 2. So this becomes 2. This becomes 6. These two numbers can still be divisible by 2. So we divide both by 2. This will become 1. This will become 3. So this will become 1/3. Now the third option, the third way of reducing is by, we call it the lowest term sieve. A sieve, lowest term sieve. So for example, we rewrite 8 and 24. So we think of a number that can be divisible by 8 and 24. We can divide it by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So we can still think of a number that can be divisible by these two numbers. So we can think another 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now this can still be divided into by 2. So we just divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is your numerator. So this is the new, become the new numerator. This is the denominator. This is the new denominator. So the third one is 1/3. And that's end of part 1 of fraction.